Hey guys, Adam Savage and I'm here with Vaughn Davis and we are in Grant Imahara's shop with Grant Imahara's droid. You recognize this little blue guy, it's R2-D2. This came about as part of a collaboration between how many of us? 5 or 6 at Island?
There's 10 of us originally.
10 of us?
Yes.
Wow. You, me, Billy Brooks.
Don Bees, John Duncan, John Goodson, Pierre Maurer later joined us, Mark Buck.
Yeah, and we all wanted our own R2-D2s, and so we carefully built ourselves a set of R2-D2s totally from scratch.
Yeah.
That was the ethos.
That was the deal too.
Yeah.
Even though we worked with the real R2-D2 at Lucasfilm, we were never allowed, of course, to make copies of any of the parts or anything like that. So we had to create every little detail you see here from scratch. I guess just like all the other R2 builders in the world.
Right. So, but we split it up among the 10 of us. Some did these parts, some did those parts. I just remember endless amounts of machining.
Yes.
For all these leg parts, making whole bunches. And then molds. I did some fiberglass hard molds for the outer shells.
Yeah, I remember. And you also wrote the instructions for all of us to do the perfect fiberglass.
Oh,
parts.
did I really?
Yes. Because it was a hard mold, which is nerve-wracking.
A hard part in a hard mold.
Yeah, because if you do that wrong, you fuse your part to the mold. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that was why you wrote those instructions.
I was taking careful instruction from Mike Job and Tony Preciado about how many different layers of wax go between the hard part that's casting into the hard mold.
Yes.
Because the cost of failure is absolute catastrophe.
Yes.
And so this was Grant's. I knew that he had finished it, but this is actually the first time I've seen it up close.
Yeah. Yeah, we had been working on them it was on our 20th year.
Really?
That we finally got to this point where we could call them done.
So we started that probably in just around 2000?
Well, it would be 20 years ago, 2020, so it's 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was late finishing mine 6 years later.
Well, you finished yours. You were the first to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don was the first to drop out of the group. And then, a bunch of people ended up dropping out because it was just too much work.
It's a gigantic construction.
Yeah.
Even for us, like familiar with the process, the number of parts and pieces, the amount of accuracy, trying to get things to work mechanically, it's a bear of a build under the best of circumstances.
Absolutely.
I remember we had a really, really fun, all of us brought our droids to your shop.
Yes.
Up in NorCal.
When you finished yours.
Oh, was that really why I did
Yeah.
it? Oh, right, because I fried it. I think I set something on fire inside my bot while showing it off. I think I moved the head too far.
Oh, man.
I love the data displays. Are you telling me this correct? These are fiber optic?
Yeah, so this is LED.
Right.
But we cut lengths of fiber optic. A lot of the R2 builders are doing this now. So it still has the visual appearance of the original fiber optic.
And the original fiber optic is kind of shitty, and it's so perfect.
Yeah, that's with the color wheel. Yours has a color wheel, right?
Yeah. Not only does mine have the color wheel, I have the bubbly epoxy pot in here, because that's true to the original.
Did, yeah.
It's like sitting there in this meniscus of crappy epoxy.
That is the dilemma of building one of these, is like, how nice do you make it versus how dirty and kind of run down? Because the originals didn't actually, I mean, they were made for movies. They're just props. So they just rushed through them to get them on camera, and that was it.
Yeah.
So they weren't polished, then they weren't perfect.
Not only weren't they perfect, but no two of them match.
Yeah.
They're off by 1/8 of an inch, sometimes up to 1/4 of an inch on some of the parts and pieces between two bots built by the same people.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, but we stayed pretty faithful. Like, this is a separate piece right here.
Oh, the fascia here?
Yeah. If you wanted to make that cleaner, you would just build that straight into the body. But all these are,
yeah, my boys used to pull these out so they could hug R2.
That's sweet.
Clearly, Grant had not gotten around to filthing him up because he is way too clean.
Yes, that was going to be my job.
Oh, yeah?
He was helping me with the electronics, naturally.
Yeah.
And then I was going to help him paint it.
Because
I'm really good at messing things up in that artful way.
Well, I remember being really close to finishing mine, and I didn't have a skirt, or there was a skirt mold, and I lost it.
Oh.
And so I was like, and then I realized I could just build this. I could just scratch build a skirt in probably 3 or 4 hours. So I did, and then I was obsessing about some lines, and I was like, R2 is totally beat to hell. Why am I worrying about this?
Yeah.
And again, it's that like, why make this line? Because when I was done, I like took a ball peen hammer to him.
Yep. That is the routine.
It is so lovely. I just like, it was so many countless lunch hours of
Yeah.
like, oh, are you going to make this part this time? Oh yeah, I'm going to make this part. And then we'll make a
Yeah,
little
this
mold.
is one of those projects where the journey was more important than the completion or arriving.
Yeah.
Because I think about all the times we'd huddle around, photographs and plans and frame grabs from the movie and try to figure out like, does this stick out here? What color? This is black in some movies, but not others.
And this is not level in nearly any movie.
Not a
or it's
one.
not parallel. And
Correct.
yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
all these things about it that don't work unless you build it wrong.
Well, yeah, and then you also find things that were inconsistent in the movie, like the right and left leg. They're not
Bilaterally. They're not mirror images.
They're not. Well, no, they are mirror images.
Right. Okay.
But sometimes they would put them on backwards
That's
in the movie. So even within the movie, there wasn't consistency. So it was always that decision of which version within the movie are you going to do.
I remember also this. We figured out that the copper jacketed braided wire was like, I don't know, it was like $40 a foot or something,
Mm-hmm.
but you could buy the stainless steel and paint it copper for like $1.
Which is what we did.
Yeah.
We got this. This is like Home Depot.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is just like Cinco's.
Oh man. And this is what I love is that this aluminum panel that tops the ankle, there's
right.
there's no screws holding it down in
Yeah.
even any of
Just
the real
gravity.
R2s. It's just sitting there.
Yep. Yeah, it's remarkable.
The real Kenny Baker one was in the shop for a while, and I always grooved on seeing inside the battery boxes here on the Kenny Baker R2, you can see his sneakers,
Yeah.
where his legs would come through here into here. So anytime R2 did like one of these kind of movements, that was Kenny inside.
Yeah. I remember that was the first one I got to work on at ILM.
Oh, really?
They needed it repainted and refinished. So I stripped it completely down to aluminum and repainted it. And I'll never forget the moment I took the head off. Because this is just sitting on here,
Right.
just like everything else. It's not attached. And I just lifted the head off. I set it down on the table and I turned and I looked inside and you could see the straps that Kenny Baker would wear over his chest inside and the little footholds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
Right.
Yeah. That was one of those rare moments at ILM where I was like 7 years old again.
Nope.
It was just one of those moments. It was really cool.
You know, a friend of mine said when I was building my R2, he's like, you're making a happiness machine. I was like,
Yes.
What do you mean? He's like, if you have R2D2 in your house, how could you ever not be happy?
I'm always telling people that, like Adam calls his a happiness machine. I've actually just recently dubbed mine my emotional support robot.
Absolutely. That's totally
Because I keep
what
it in my
is.
office and I find myself gravitating towards it and just kind of holding onto it while I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
And then I realize this is my emotional support robot.
Oh, yeah. If you want to build your own R2, there are tremendous resources online. The R2D2 Builders Club has amazing plans and all sorts of wonderful, innovative ways to do it. And it's still going to kick your ass no matter what.
Yes. Stupidest project you could start.
And I can't recommend it enough.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Between 6 and 20 years is the completion rate.
That sounds right.